Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. It's one wise guy, and tomorrow the press will say, oh, there was a protest. Unbelievable. You know, we've got 15,000 people here today. Unbelievable. So we have 15,000 people. We have one wise guy, and that'll be the headline, protest. But I love the protesters because the only way the dishonest media, the most dishonest people in the world, I think maybe more dishonest than the politicians, hard to believe. The only way they turn their cameras if there's trouble, if there's a protester. Do you notice all those cameras were turned? So I'm very happy. In fact, sometime I'm going to just bring in my own protesters. The only way I get them to turn. So anyways, it's really unbelievable. All right. Yeah, get them out. That's fine. That's fine. Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. Don't hurt them. So when it began there. And then all of a sudden, everybody liked me from the standpoint of the military, because I get it, I understand it, and believe me, we're going to be strong because our military is being decimated. It's being decimated. Now, we are going to be so strong at the military level, we're going to build it bigger, better, stronger than ever, and nobody is going to mess with us. Nobody. Nobody. And by the way, just as a little adjunct, which is very important, because, you know, we talk about the American dream, and without education, there is no real good chance at the American dream. We're getting rid of Common Core. It's gone. Getting rid of Common Core. We're getting rid of Obamacare, by the way. Getting rid of it. We're getting rid of it. It's gone. It's gone. It's a disaster. It's a disgrace. It's a disaster. That's going. It'll be replaced with lots of options that are going to be excellent and a lot less expensive and better. It's called better and less expensive. So we're getting rid of Obamacare. But what happened is people came up and they all of a sudden started saying Trump is the right one for basically its security. And every poll showed it. Where I did the worst in the polls, I hate to say, do you know where I did the worst? My personality. Who cares, right? Who cares? And I'll tell you what, I'm a nicer person, so I really think I am. I'm a nicer person than the people that I'm on the dais with. I really believe that. I want to take care of people. You know, we're all in this together. I'm a messenger, that's all I am. We're all in this together. There is a great anger out there. And people say, oh, Trump has captured the anger of the world, and the anger, it's actually a world anger. It's not even, it's this country, because this country has made so many bad decisions, it overflows outside of this country. But there is a real anger. And they always write about the anger. I don't think about it. I don't think like I captured anything. I just say what I say. And I say what I say because it's common sense. It's common sense. And at the debate, they asked me, because a certain politician made a speech and she talked about Nikki Haley. She talked about Trump. Essentially, she was saying Trump is angry. And I'm not an angry person, believe me. I'm not. And you're not angry people. But during the debate, the one before last, they said, Nikki Haley said, you're essentially an angry person. And I was supposed to say, oh, no, I'm not. I love the way things are going. The country's going to hell. The Iran deal is just wonderful. We give them $150 billion for nothing, right? We're all thrilled. Sergeant Bergdorf, wonderful deal. We get a dirty, rotten traitor. They get 5 killers that they wanted forever, right? 5 people died going after Sergeant Bergdorf. And then we're supposed to say we're thrilled with the way our country's run, right? Our country is in trouble. Our jobs are a disaster. Our real number is 25%, not 5%. When you look for a job and can't get it, You quit, you look, you go home, you stay home with your wife or your husband. You no longer look. And you know what? Statistically, they think you're employed. We have a real problem. Our jobs have been taken from us. They've been taken by China and so many other countries. They've been taken by everybody. Last week, you read about it, Carrier. They make air conditioners. I buy air conditioners from Carrier, no longer. They're moving to Mexico, like so many other people. So here's the story, folks, and I tell this story. I want to be smart. We have to be smart. I like free trade, but it has to be fair trade. It has to be smart trade. But the only thing you can do is one thing. I saw the pictures, probably a cell phone camera, where this executive is saying, sorry, folks, your jobs are gone. A lot of jobs. What was it? 1,400 jobs, I think. 1,400 jobs. And by the way, United Technologies also is closing up some stuff, moving to Mexico. So here's what we do. I'm a free trader. You know, I get a lot of heat. He is not conservative. He is not. Folks, I call myself common sense conservative, you know? Common sense conservative. Because, you know, a conservative would never do what I'm going to say. And they'll say, he cannot be a conservative if he does what he says. Okay. People are taking our jobs. They're moving out of our country. Pfizer is leaving, going to Ireland. Many, we have corporate inversion. We have billions of dollars and trillions of dollars outside. We can't get it back because the politicians can't move. The Democrats want it back. The Republicans want it back. They can't make a deal because they have no leadership, right? So here's what we're going to do with Carrier, and here's what we're going to do with a lot of other countries. We have to do it. Look, I went to the great Wharton School of Finance. I was very good. I was a good student and all that stuff. But you don't have to go to Wharton. You don't have to go to high school to understand this. So we're leaving Carrier. We're leaving and we're going to Mexico, right? How is that good for us? They're going to make air conditioners and sell them to our country. How is it good? So here's what happens. Very simple. We have the greatest business people in the world in our country. I'll use them, but this is too simple. I want to do it myself, even though it's very unpresidential. I think it's very unpresidential for me to be calling the head of Carrier about air conditioners. Do you agree? But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I'll be unpresidential. And I'm going to say, look, here's the story. I hope you enjoy your new factory in Mexico. I hope it looks beautiful and you're very happy. But just so you understand, if you move to Mexico, you leave the United States, you let down those 1,400 great people who I saw in that video, and they are devastated. We are going to charge you a 35% tax for every air conditioner you sell that comes across the border. It's the only solution. You know, a lot of people say, I'm giving a big tax cut and all of that, but that's not going to stop these companies from moving. It's more to it than that. So I'm going to say that. And here's what's going to happen. I am not taking money from the lobbyists and from the special interests and the donors. Everybody else, if you put like little Rubio up there and he's president, they'll say, Mr. President, in between is sweating. Hey, can you imagine Rubio negotiating with Putin and he walks into the room and he's pouring sweat and Putin looks at him and says, man, what's wrong with that guy? So I will say this, look, within 24 hours, Carrier will call me and they'll say, Mr. President, we're moving back to the United States. That's what's going to happen. Very simple. Now, the so-called brilliant conservatives, as they say, don't like that because they don't like to charge tax. And I don't either. Ideally, I don't either. But it's not fair anymore, folks. We can't continue to be the stupid people. We cannot continue to be the stupid people. I have a friend who's a great, great manufacturer. He deals with China. He said it's a virtual impossibility. Number one, they sell everything over here. No tax. They just pour it in, make a fortune. We have rebuilt China. The bridges, the tunnels, the airports. You've never seen anything like it. We have rebuilt China, and yet our country's falling apart. Our infrastructure's falling apart. Our schools, we don't have money for schools, for roadways, for airports. Our airports are like third world. You come in, you leave some of these airports in Europe, you leave some of these airports like Qatar and Dubai, and you see these airports are the most incredible things you've ever seen. I'm there a lot. And then we come in and we land at LaGuardia where there are potholes all over the place. We're like a third world country. We can't be the stupid people anymore. We can't be led by the stupid people anymore, folks. We can't. We can't. So Kerry is going to move back. Ford, it's the same thing. 2 years ago, they announced $2.5 billion. I would tell them there's just no way. We don't want their cars. Just keep your cars. I want those plants to be built in Michigan or here or wherever the hell they want to build them, as long as it's in the United States. We want people to build in this country. We want jobs in this country. I don't know if you saw the last jobs report, but one thing that took place that's an amazing phenomenon, and it has to do with Obamacare, is tremendous numbers of part-time jobs. Because they don't want to be in the Obamacare reign. They don't want to be within the grasp of Obamacare. So these companies, people that have worked for the same company for years, all of a sudden are being made part-time. Not going to happen, folks. It's not going to happen. The other thing is, the quality of the job is the lowest we've ever had. The jobs are bad because the good jobs are all going to different countries. We have the bad jobs, and they say it. They say it. They're bad, bad jobs. They're low-level jobs, no good. Our country is in trouble. We're going to fix our country. We're going to fix it like you've never seen, and it's going to go fast. So here's what we have to do. Look. Here's what we have to do. On Tuesday, you have a big day. You have to get up, and I joke, and I do joke, and I'll say it. I don't care how you're feeling. I don't care if your doctor says you're not going to make it till 7 o'clock. I won't say your wife is leaving you, but perhaps she might. She's fallen in love with another man. I don't give a damn. You get up, you go to the polls, and you vote. No, I really mean it. So important. And we have a real opportunity because we really do have the potential to have this country be greater than ever before. But if we have Hillary, I was just watching Hillary on television. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And I'll tell you what was very interesting. In South Carolina, we had like 400 and some odd thousand people vote in the last cycle 4 years ago, and fewer before that. And we were almost at 800,000 people a few weeks ago when I won. The number of and they were talking about it. The number of voters has doubled, more than doubled. And I'm taking from the Democrats, I'm taking from the independents, because the Republicans do have a structural disadvantage. It's harder to win as a Republican. I hate to tell you that. We have states that if I get the nomination, we're going to win Michigan. We're going to win Pennsylvania. We're going to win Ohio. We're going to win Florida. We're going to win Florida. We have a chance to win New York. If we win New York, it's over, and no Republican can even think about it. So it's so important. But what they're doing, and what they were just talking about, they're saying the Republicans have gone way, way, way up. From 400 and some odd thousand to 800 and some odd thousand. And that's just from the last cycle, and it's gone. And by the way, it was just going nowhere. But even the ratings, we got for that last debate, almost 16 million people. And the last time they had about 3 million people. Now, you know that I did that. Nobody else did it. I did it, right? I just wonder, what would those ratings be on the debates if I wasn't there? I will tell you, it would not be a pretty picture. So the last cycle, I think they had about 3 million or 3.5, and we had almost 6